How'd Enoch by Edwin Waugh. How'd Enoch a dance, laid his pipe down on thob, and his thin fingers played in th' white thatch of his knob. I'm getting done up to there, Betty, he said. Just think that could doff me and dad me to bed. Then who get him to bed, and who hopped him up well, and who said to him, Enoch, lad, how dost thou feel? These limbs of mine, Betty, they cranky and sore. It's time to shut up when one's getting fourscore. As who potters about his poor winterly pate, thou fellow looked drowsily up at his mate. There's naught on me left, Betty, do what thou can, with a cratchly frame of what once were a mon. Then he turned himself o'er like a child tired with play, and Betty crept round while he were dozing away. As his eyelids sank down, thou lad whispered, well done, I think there's a bit of sound sleep coming on. Then who thought who'd sit by till he'd had his nap o'er? If who'd sit there till then who'd ha' risen no more, for he cooled out to the world and his een lost their leap, as quiet as a cinder in fire grate at night. As Betty sat rocking bit side of his bed, who looked now and then at how Enoch's white head, and who thought to herself that who'd not long to stay, if ever thou prop of her life should give way. Then wondering to see him so sound and so still, who touched Enoch's hand, and who found it were chill. Says Betty, he's cowed, I'll put summat more on, but it were no use, for how Enoch were gone. And when they put Enoch to bed in ground, a rook of poor neighbours stood bareheaded around. They dropped sprigs of rosemary, and this were their text, thou craters lied by, we may haply bit next. So Betty were left to tour on by herself, and how who pooed through it no mortal can tell. But the doctor dropped in to look at her one day, when he were rocking by the side of an odd cup of tea. Well, Betty, said doctor, how done you get on? I'm sorry to hear that you'n lost your old mon. What complaint had he, Betty? Says who, I can't tell. We ne'er had no doctor, he died of hissel. Aye, Betty, said doctor, there's one thing quite sure, old age is a thing that no physic can cure. Fate will have her way, lass, do all that we can. When the time comes up, we have to sign o'er and be gone. Both winter and summer thou'd mowers at work, siding folk out to sea, both bedeely and dark. He's slaving away while we're snoring in bed, and he's slash at a king if it come in his yed. These soldiers and parsons and mices o' land, he lays 'em in ground, with our mouths full o' sond. Rags o' riches and our greasy cap o' a crown, he serves all alike, for he switches 'em down. The mon that's learnt up and the mon that's a fool, it makes little odds, for they han both had to go. When they come in within swing of his scythe, they mun fall. If you root amongst swarth, you'll find doctors and all.